Mikaela, how much of that first quarter set the tone for the night?
That's one of the things we just talked about in the locker room. Our defense has really been, I think, outstanding so far in all 3 games that we played. It's something that's really carried us and given us a lot of momentum. Even when offensively we struggle, we bring it defensively, and that's a huge help.
Elena, you guys start off in that 10-2 run. They call a timeout after the transition 3 you hit. Paige gets the steal right out of the timeout, turns it into a run out. How big was that coming out of the timeout? I guess keeping that momentum up and not letting that stoppage of play kind of hinder you guys at all?
Having the momentum on our side is huge, and it just carries us throughout the game. So I think as long as we can keep the momentum on our side, good things happen.
And those 14 turnovers early turn into 14 points the other way. How much do you pride yourself as a team on being able to get those easy run-outs?
Defense is huge for us, and when we play good defense, our offense comes. So we really pride ourselves on the defensive end and just go from there.
Mikaela, talk about just obviously the defense turns into easy baskets the other way, but you guys made that extra pass tonight, which led to a lot of wide open 3-point attempts. Talk about just sharing the ball in the offense and what it means for all the players.
Absolutely. We talked a lot tonight about not depending on the 3. We have to move the ball, and we have a lot of great shooters. So making that extra pass, you're always throwing to someone who's just as good of a shooter as you are, I think, personally. And so making that extra pass is easy when you know that your teammates are about to knock it down.
And second quarter was kind of slow going a little bit. You guys ended up finishing on a 92 run, I think. A couple of 3-pointers from Shelby. You had one as well. How big was that closing out the half on that night?
It's important. We talked a lot about there not being a drop-off. You know, when the starting 5 comes out, we want our subs to be able to come in, push it, have the same intensity. Coach David talks a lot about maintaining that intensity being a huge factor. You come in and you're active hands, talking, just the little things, just step your game up to the next level. And I think our bench does a great job of bringing that same intensity when they come in the game.
You guys moved to 3-0, all 3 wins, pretty convincingly. Younger players, deeper down the bench, are getting those minutes in these kind of games. How big is that for them, getting these early minutes to help you guys down the stretch?
It's huge. You know, you don't want to get your feet wet in a big-time conference game. And you want your freshmen to have confidence to go into those games. So building their confidence now and letting them get in there, get to experience it, get the feel of the game, because it's totally different. And you can go hard in practice, but you go out, facing another team is totally different. So you absolutely want your teammates to feel confident when they're going in, and getting those minutes is what allows them to do that.
Well, you guys have 3 wins all coming at home. How big is it getting these early wins in front of your home crowd, figuring out the rotations, the different sets that you guys are trying to run? How nice is it doing that in front of the home crowd?
Having a home crowd here is definitely a huge advantage for us, and we love playing at home. And I think it just carries us, and definitely the crowd wants to follow us the rest of the season.
Well, I thought tonight that similar to last weekend, we got off to a great start again with our defense, our full court pressure, just like last Friday against University of Mary. So forcing 20 turnovers in the first half is unheard of, and this is a good basketball team. They just took number 9 in the country to overtime last week in their first game. So we knew it was going to be a tough game, but we really dominated in the first quarter with our pressure, and it led to a lot of easy baskets for us.
How much did that first quarter set the tone for the rest of the game?
I think it did. We struggled to score in the half court when we quit pressing, which is a little concerning, but give Ferris State a lot of credit for that. They play that pack line defense, and similar to Grand Valley in the Elite 8 game, and they force you to make outside shots. And I knew we were going to probably shoot 20 or 25 threes. I had no idea we'd shoot 38. Which is a lot of threes to be taken, but that's the defense. It's called pack defense for a reason. They don't want you to score in the paint. We didn't get to the line, and we didn't touch the post very often. So they did their job after that first quarter on the defensive end, I thought, and really begged us to shoot it from the perimeter. Luckily for us, we shot 37% from 3, and we'll take that every night, really.
And you guys start the game off with a 10-2 run off the transition 3 from Elena. They call a timeout. Out of the timeout, I think it was Paige gets that steal and gets the run on the other way. How big was that in terms of moments in the game? You guys are coming out of that break off that first push, and then you guys pick right back up with that intensity right out of the timeout.
You could tell in the huddle that you know, that group they were hungry and they wanted to continue to put the pressure on them. And so, yeah, it was huge for us to continue that run.
5 3-pointers in the first half, obviously. I mean, or first quarter led the way there. Talk about just that outside shot, like you mentioned earlier, and how that extra swing pass, finding the open man, is really paying off right now.
It really is, and Shelby Lopez is just one tremendous shooter. We know what we're going to get from Mikaela, but to have Shelby step up like she has early this year, and then of course Hayden hit a couple early, just kind of ho-hum, 3 for 7, 5 assists, 2 turnovers, just another great night for your starting point guard. But we really feel like we can shoot it at all 4 positions. Madison can shoot it, she just won't, and we really got to get her to pull the trigger, because against teams that are playing Pac-Man or zone, then we can't really play her if she's not going to shoot it, because she has a lot of open looks. But boy, she really gets after them boards and did a great job on the offensive glass today, as always, and getting deflections and extra possessions for us.
You talked about Shelby's day. Do you see her as kind of an X factor on this team, making that transition from year 1 to year 2?
Absolutely. I think she's one of the most important players on the team. I think, you know, when you lose Kathy Brugman, that was that next 3-point shooter to go along with Mikaela and Hayden and Paige, and Shelby stepped right in and done a great job for us. You know, I love to shoot 3. I love the 3-point shot. I especially like them in transition. But we need to touch the paint a little bit more, and then get those kickouts. But how are you going to tell Mikaela when they're 5 feet off it, where she may not shoot it? Of course she's going to shoot it, and we want her to.
And you had 14 turnovers in the first quarter, led to 14 points going the other way, but more importantly, you held them to 11 shooting. How big was it just defensively to kind of assert yourself there early on, using that full court pressure to kind of, I guess, limit what they were able to do, particularly later in the game?
Well, you know, when you get up 26-5, you're going to have to be doing something right defensively. And, you know, we just, like you said, we set the tone, and it fueled our team.
And you guys start off 3-0, all 3 games at home. How nice is it having the home crowd in front of you while you're working out rotations and stuff like that at the beginning of the year to kind of figure things out for the conference schedule later on?
Well, these first 7 games, we've got to develop depth. We got to, especially inside. And Athena struggled a little bit tonight. Marina struggled a little bit, but they've had good games too. So we got to continue to get them going. Morgan, Brody as well. But playing in front of the home crowd is just unbelievable. We love our fans. We love our community, and we certainly would rather play here than drive up to the Northern Sun or play up north, like we have been the last 5 years or whatever. So we're excited to be home.
And you guys get that big lead early. I thought what was big was you guys had key runs there at the end of the first half. Going in, you go 9-2 run, distance yourself. Then in the third quarter, I think you went on a 9-0 run to push the lead to 30. How big was that, knowing that you had that big lead and still being able to get spurts from your team, which they may have, maybe letting off in the second half? It was a clear win at that point in time.
It was, and I thought Mikaela, like I said, she struggled a little bit early from 3. I think started, 2 for 7. But hit the big one at the end of the half, and that got her confidence going. And then she came out and hit 2 in a row in the second half. And then at the end of the third quarter, we did a nice job. Shelby hit a couple big shots for us. And I was real proud of our freshmen there at the end of the game. Last game, we were up 30, and the team went on a 10-0 run to end the game. This time, we went on a 9-0 run with our freshmen. I was proud of them. That's a good step in the right direction.
How big was it getting that big lead and being able to get some of those younger kids in and saving the legs for tomorrow's game?
It's huge. Like I said, we got to develop depth. That's it's easy to say, well, you're up 25, well, you're not playing them more. Well, in 3 possessions, the other team could be back in the game. It's just college basketball is a game of runs, and we have to make sure that they're ready to go. And I was proud of them tonight. They stepped in and did a great job.